there's that emptiness, and we search. 9 times out of 10, most people search for people to fill that void, which is only. But people can't fill that void for you, right?
Right. Welcome to the Focal Flip Podcast. Every week we take a deep dive into the mystery and stigma behind mental health and explore real-life stories of struggle and triumph. We aim to educate and encourage others as we bring together a diverse group of guests. From the streets to sanctuaries, classrooms to boardrooms, mental health does not discriminate, and neither do we. Prepare to laugh, prepare to cry, prepare to be changed. Let's get into it. All right, hey everybody, welcome back to the Focal Flip Podcast. This is Mike, your host, Focal Flip, and my boy Mike Walker. He's back again. Mike, welcome back, man.
What's up? Thanks for having me.
Hey, no problem. No problem. Appreciate you doing that little, small little panel one that we had with Souter too. That was cool.
That was fun.
That was cool. I'm going to try to, I've reached out to some other coaches. So coaches, make sure if you got a text from me to text me back so you don't get called out on here for not texting me back as we start accumulating all of our coaches as friends in our whole network.
Right.
So Walt, I loved our first conversation. We've been friends for a long time, and I just think you're a fascinating dude. When some of the things are just like, there's a lot that went left unsaid. Right. From our first conversation, it was so raw, so real, and just honest and open. And that's what I want. Right. I mean, that's what I want as far as these conversations and whatnot. But like I said in our panel interview, some of the stuff I do with mental health and destigmatizing it is I don't want folks to play a victim. I want to be able to let them own things so they can still succeed and not play that. Right. You know what I'm saying? There's parts of it that we just have to deal with. So there was a whole lot of things that we really want to talk about that we're not going to get to, which is kind of, with, the coach's wife perspective, some more of the stuff on EJ. But I asked you, hey, send me a couple things that you want to chat about, because I always have my stuff set. Right. And then your text back said, talk about empty, self-reflection, change, and the mirror. Yep. And then you followed it with, I'll explain once you bring this stuff up. Right. And I wrote, perfect. That's I'm a bullet point person, and big on storyteller, big on life learning things. And when you say that, I was intrigued on all 4 of those hardcore. So can you elaborate on, let's start with empty.
Okay. So
what did you mean by empty?
So being empty, there's, as an athlete, there's parts, especially, dealing with mental health and the kids that I deal with in my school district, there's parts where they do feel empty, even as a coach or as a person, as adults, we feel empty. There's nothing there to, whatever the case may be, if it's, not having both parents or not being close to God in your faith or whatever your faith is. There's that emptiness, and we search. 9 times out of 10, most people search for people to fill that void, which is only, but people can't fill that void for you, right? Right. I was actually, and the reason I put empty is because I was actually at church today. And that's one big thing for me, is to get back into my faith for me and my wife. And then therefore it can come into our whole household. And I went to, went to Jordan Nevel's father's church in Warsaw. And everything, it spoke to me. And it's just damn, empty. That void for me and my wife has been empty. And a lot of it is because we've been talking about going to church. And we just kept putting it off. And then, past couple of days, she's like, no, we're going. And Jordan's been inviting us. So today, a small drop into my emptiness was starting to fill, because I have been missing that for me and my wife and our family, of that emptiness, which was God. But then it had me think about basketball and sports, right? And the kids we deal with, of, what part of their life is empty. So once you figure that out, okay, well, now maybe I can help talk to you about how to fill that void, fill that emptiness with whatever the case may be. It could be sport, it could be school, whatever, girlfriend, mom, dad, brother, sister, uncle, whatever, life, right? So I think as coaches, we get so caught up in the wins. And I spoke today in sermon too, as well as like, he looked at me and was like, someone scores 50 points, it's not good enough. You need 75. Right. So if I'm dealing with a kid and I don't really know too much about him and I'm just on him, well, that emptiness might affect his mental state of practice or games because he doesn't know how to handle that himself. But our happiness and everything is only dealt with us. That's our biggest competition.
Yeah.
When people talk about, man, there's 1,000 people out, there's another kid getting better today. You're right, there is. But I got to make sure my challenge is myself every single day. My challenge is myself. So if you can compete against yourself and beat yourself every day, you're going to end up beating that person out anyway that's 3,000 miles away from you. So that's what I meant by emptiness is, one, we have to find our own empty. We have to fill our own void. Two, we need to find if there's issues going on with our student athletes. And 9 times out of 10 has nothing to do with the sport that we're coaching. And once we do, you have to find ways to fulfill that for them, whatever the case may be. And so that's what I meant about emptiness. Because I had that myself for so long, and I'm starting to feel that now.
That was really, man, thanks for sharing that. That was good. Almost choked me up a little bit, buddy. So, yeah. Amazing how that happens, huh?
Yeah, it was deep.
Yeah. I appreciate you sharing that because that is incredibly deep. Because I can relate with that emptiness feeling.
Yeah,
That I've had it,
For sure.
That void got filled.
You got to fill it. But it's only up to you, my guy. It can't be nobody else.
I know. God.
And what was the next word? I don't remember.
I don't know. Let's go. Yeah, let's run right into the next word. You hit me hard with that. Self-reflection.
Yeah. So like,
It just kind of ties into it.
It does. We can't, we as coaches can't grow if we don't self-reflect on how to get better. I know for myself, you do things, you say things, and it doesn't resonate with a kid, or it doesn't resonate with a parent, or it doesn't resonate with yourself. Yeah. So what I try to do is just really look at yourself like, you know what? I got to change. And a lot of that change is for me was, being down here and not being from here. Yeah. I wanted to be, hey man, what's up, man? How you doing, man? Cool with everyone else. Yeah. For the past 2 years, man, it's kind of bit me in the butt. So I had to self-reflect, like, you gotta remove everyone else. And then you gotta go back to that emptiness. Self-reflect, figure out what you can fill with that. And you don't need all those people. Wow. And then when you do that, you start to grow.
Yeah. Right? Clearly. Everybody who's watching this and listening to it right now can hear the growth in general. So that's when you self-reflect,
really but if you don't self-reflect, how can I teach another kid to do that?
You have to, man.
And it sucks because you don't want to self-reflect. You don't want to go to yourself and like, dang, I messed up in here. I'm doing this dirt. I'm doing this. I'm living life wrong in this area. I'm talking bad about this person. I'm trying to, degrade that person, or, whatever the case may be. I'm not putting 100% in the work. Whatever the case may be, you have to self-reflect to grow. Yeah. And I think as coaches, we kind of get lost in that in terms of our way, and not reflecting like, that way doesn't work.
Yeah. Wow. So your growth just from your year one head coaching in the last 5 years. Wow, this is really good. That takes a lot. I mean, it does. I'm sitting here thinking as you're telling me, because as you're telling me, I'm picturing, you coming down from Dayton area, coming in, and then we're friends. I see it, and I kind of feel that. That self-reflection is huge to even realize the fact that you're empty and that void is even there. And if you're not aware of that, I think that's the biggest thing too. It's that you got to self-reflect to find awareness.
For sure.
Otherwise, you're not gonna find it. How can you have empathy, compassion, growth?
You don't.
If you don't do that,
and then you don't change as a coach. And at the end of the day, all coaches is a mentor and a father figure anyway. 9 times out of 10, right? Yeah. But then if you can't do things to help yourself grow, how can I develop the next kid in my program
Yeah.
to grow their game, but not only their game, everything else that goes into basketball in terms of academics, time management, organization, and then life.
Yeah.
Right? If I can't do that myself, how can I look at another kid and be like, you need to develop, you need to do X, Y, and Z? Well, I know myself, well, I ain't doing that. I ain't doing that shit. So
feel convicted.
Well, yeah, but then it's bullshit because
You know right, they do.
You know what I mean?
They do.
So, and then the mirror thing is, after every game, man, I try to look myself in the mirror and, all right, what did I do wrong? What can I do better? You know, and that was one of the other things is, okay, well, I need to get away from all that in order for me to grow here, so my program can grow, and then my kids can grow. Not my, I mean, my in-home kids, but my student athletes.
Yeah.
And not my student athletes, the kids that I deal with day to day in the classroom.
Sure. Now, do you do that? Do you do that on your own, or do you actually allow yourself to have other people, like even, I mean, of course, Brittany, but like, do you ever allow other, like for me, I was so stubborn, hard-headed. I had to have people teach me how to live, kind of thing.
Right. Yeah.
So like, I needed to have that. So like when you get into that isolated state of like, all right, now I got to focus on me. Like, how do you?
I got close friends that I know that would keep it real. I got a coaching staff that I know that will keep it real. And at the end of the day, man, you go back to your parents.
Yeah, I know.
As a parent, but here's what people are like. Well, you know, he's done. Really he's done. He's done after 18. He's at my house. Man, you never stop being a parent. I don't care. You be 105 years old. You never stop being a parent. No. So yeah, you know, you keep it real, but you take all those opinions and ideas and things of that nature. But at the end of the day, man, it's up to you to change. It's up to you to self-reflect. It's up to you to figure out what I can fill my emptiness with. Yeah.
Have you ever had a little reflection in the mirror and then like beat yourself up real bad?
All the time.
Do you see any growth from, if that's all the time, do you see any growth from the past to now? Sure.
Yep. And the biggest thing is why I went to church. That's why we decided to go to church today.
That's what my next question.
That's why I decided to go to church today.
Okay. And man, you brought this full circle perfectly because that's where I was going to go.
Yeah.
All of this, as I read that, it's just this cycle, that void, that emptiness.
That emptiness.
For me, man, this is my bread and butter because spirituality is huge for me, man. But also, I was angry at God. I mad. Yeah. And I created the void.
Right.
I did. And like for me, there's no coincidence to any of this stuff in life.
Right.
You sharing this with me, and me knowing the Nevels family really, really well. I struggled. I grew up in church, and going into recovery, I was real angry at God, and I had this massive void. So I purposely didn't go to church.
Yeah.
Seriously, I avoided it, and I went on an Easter, and I didn't feel like connected. And then I went back on another Easter at a different church and I didn't feel connected. And then all of a sudden I felt connected. And what I realized was that never happened until I got down to me.
Right. And that's what it's all about.
And it's like that. I'm excited for you. Like this, I kind of want to go check out the church now because I know
it's good.
I know Jordan and them's dad.
Hey, it's good.
Their family, they were such great people to me when I was playing ball.
It's good service.
So yeah, appreciate you sharing that.
No problem.
Yeah, because it actually is motivating me. Like I said, these things aren't coincidence. It's motivating me to do it. So I've went to a couple of different services, but I've had conversations lately with my, significant other, with Sam and my family. I'm ready to get involved, and I want to do that. And I've been like somewhat scared to it. So there's conviction there. So now, I never told you that, and so I didn't tell him. I didn't know you were going to go this way on the podcast either. So it's like. This is just another sign.
If I told you, it wouldn't be, it would have been not as mind blowing. That's why.
That's why it's fun, man. That's good stuff.
No problem.
Anything you want to finish with? I appreciate this.
You want me to elaborate just on the coach's wife aspect?
Yeah, let's just do the coach's wife, and then we can say DJ for the next one.
We can do both real quick. I'll be quick.
Okay. So I got to get ready for dinner, and Sam's got me coming.
Yeah, I know. She's like, when you come home, I need you. Yeah, so I get it. We'll get out of here. But no, the whole coach's wife thing, I think, is just huge. They have to be supportive. Like and she does a great job at that for me.
That's not easy.
No, it's not, because I lose my mind. And I mean, there's every time she stands, she looks at me like, gives me that look like, calm down.
You
But
need-
you know,
you
but
need
she,
that probably,
but, you know,
like-
but she learned it starting out. It wasn't so much, but I think, you know, especially for coaches who are just now coaching, if your significant other doesn't understand, you'll never be a successful coach. Because my wife, she does that. She gets it. She knows when season gets here, like, no, I'm a single mom. Yeah, you are.
It's hard to understand until you do it.
It is, but she if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be as successful as I am now.
I believe that. I
know
think
what
you're
I mean?
great. No offense, but yeah.
I'm an okay coach. I'm all right. So, you know, shout out to her for that, because it people don't understand. It takes a toll. To be honest, your significant other, it takes a more toll on them than it does coaching whatever sport you coach.
Yeah.
Because they got to deal with a lot of stuff you don't have to deal with because you're not there half the time. You're so watching film.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of hats.
You're
to
taking
wear.
other people's kids places, what people don't understand either.
Yeah, I mean, logistics, emotions,
All that stuff.
everything, all
All that.
5 elements. I mean,
All that. And then, you know, it's just, it goes hand in hand. But,
amazing.
you know, that's that.
shout out, Brittany. That's awesome. Is she still going to come on now?
Yeah, she does. She says she will. She'll come on. You get that coach's wife.
Yeah, that's what I want to
Aspects.
do that eventually too. So like, because I mean, I want to show everybody what this thing full circle looks
Right.
like. Why do teams succeed? Why should people be parts of teams? Why do coaches do what they do? Support systems and that thrive with that community type thing.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
So what do you want to know about EJ? It's clothing brand.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, I want to know. Well, not just the clothing brand. Let's say just the brand in general. But how was summer for EJ? How is he with getting ready for season?
He's good. He's
You
good.
know,
I think he's a little.
The brand is a lot too. So I mean, it's a,
Yeah, I mean, he's gonna get he had a good summer. He's ready to play, but you also tell him like, I'm ready to get to college. I'm ready to go get that.
for sure he's excited.
He's
man.
excited.
Like,
So he's dealing with that stuff too. It's what's it's like the senioritis type of deal. But the brand was a group effort with everything. We had to. He came up with the design with the logo guy. They came up with that design, and then he said, it's kind of the apparel he wanted to go the route with. And it was just thought it was pretty cool. It's kind of weird. Seeing your own kid with his brand and his clothes, and people are going to be wearing it. He's excited about it. He's you got to expand it. In this day and age of college basketball, you're a business. You're your own person. You're your own brand. So you got to market that stuff.
how is he with that? How is Big Smiles?
Smiles is doing. He's doing good. Like.
We're
We're working on a little bit with the communication aspect, and he did his first podcast on another podcast over there on Saturday.
Good. How'd he do?
He did all right. He did good. We got to, he don't need a man a few words.
Yeah.
So,
How did you feel after he did it?
He good. He was like, that's cool. Whatever. He's just so humble. That's cool.
I
That's cool.
swear. Yeah, it's cool.
But it's cool. It's cool. It's cool that he has that brand, and that brand's gonna expand and be his whole life. Whatever avenue he chooses to go in life, and it starts now. Make you a little money in your pocket and see where it goes.
Good for him. I always wonder what it'd be like. You're rocking the Gamecock gear. I mean, would you be wearing? Does he wear South Carolina stuff more than he does Lloyd stuff now?
Yeah, yeah. It's all the time, man. It's, Gamecock stuff, South Carolina stuff. Oh yeah,
They have dope gear though.
listen, the shirts do you know what they call the month of October?
No,
Cocktober.
even better.
Like
I swear this month gets better.
there.
This month gets better all the time. Man.
We were down there. We were like, "Oh, this is nuts."
They call it
for the
Cocktober.
football game. But yeah, he's in a good spot. It's
the best month of the
I
year,
know.
man.
I know. He just wants to. One of the main reasons he didn't go to OTE or prep school was because he felt like he could get everything here. But he also was like, "Man, there's so many kids here that look up to me, and I want to be with my teammates. I want to be a Lloyd legend." He was already committed, so that's what he said on the podcast. I didn't even know, but he does a good job, and
Good for him.
He wants other kids to be able to do what he does, and I think that's the biggest thing for him.
That's really cool. It's just stuff that you would never think that young kids, young men would have to make. That's a lot,
Right?
I mean,
And also, you look at the landscape of things in terms of whatever your brand is, whatever your job is, your process, your path is your path. Stay focused. Don't knock anyone else off theirs, because everyone can eat at whatever it is you're doing.
Yeah. Good stuff.
So, yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for that update, man.
No problem.
EJ, congrats, buddy. I'm excited for you.
Yep.
I'm now committed to 25 shirts.
25.
All right. So, we'll figure all that out.
Christmas presents for everyone.
Christmas present for everyone. I like the white and black.
Yeah, all
like
that
that.
stuff's dope.
I like the Gamecock colors too. I don't know if I can rock that Lloyd stuff. I mean, I guess I have to for.
I mean, you go with the Gamecocks. Aren't you a UK fan?
Huh?
Aren't you a UK fan?
You okay with that?
I mean, I don't care.
I'm gonna represent people that I love. You know what I mean? Like families and people that I have genuine, honest relationships with.
So rock it out.
That's what I mean.
Okay.
I don't care. Like if you're on my podcast, it's because I vetted you because I like you.
Right.
And I respect you. And if I don't ask you back.
Yep, I get it.
And so,
I get it.
EJ they've been consistent on, with his fundraising and whatnot. And it's like, I think I was able to help like maybe one time, but he was always asking. It's like, now I'm like, this is cool. This is the opportunity.
Yeah. And hopefully there's more kids that happens. And then, up here in Northern Kentucky that they can eventually do that too. And it's
look what happens when you work. Like just if you work and you just go, I mean, the opportunities are endless now at younger ages.
Right.
And if you work, I mean, you see.
Yep.
Look at what these guys are accomplishing and the teams are accomplishing in exposure. It's just great.
Yep. Appreciate you having me.
All right, man.
Yep.
See you. Okay. You ready to wrap this thing up?
If you like Focal Flips videos, my dad's videos, go to YouTube, Spotify, and Apple, and like and subscribe to be updated.
I love it.